Ալիկիդ Մայրիկի ըրածը միներ, ադի չէ։ Homenetmen is հայ մարմնակրթական ընդհանուր միություն. That's it. And you have to be able to pronounce that. It's not Homenetmen, it's not Homenetmen, it's Homenetmen. And it's not Homenetmen. Homenetmen is a totally different organization. So you have to understand, it's a non-profit organization which was founded over 93 years ago in Turkey today, Istanbul, Constantinople, by Shavash Christian, Hovannes Intinian, and Krikor Hakopian. And the reason also that it was found, because when they had to get the communities together, they were not letting the Armenians to play in soccer leagues. So Armenians had to come together, come up with different organizational names. They had the Shant chapter, they had to not today's Shan chapter, back there Shan chapter, or Sevan or what have you, and they had to get all this together to be able to compete against the Turkish athletes. That's how it came about, Homenetmen. Very, very simple. That's again how it came about home. That's how it came about Hamazgain in their cultural and their political movements back there. Believing in a strong mind and strong body, and this is what came about 93 years ago. This is not new. If you had the chance to read the bylaws, it's been written 93 years ago. And Homenetmen has provided the Armenian youth with a moral, physical, psychological education outside the school environment. So being a Homenetmen, it's a big responsibility. It's a huge responsibility because you have the legacy and the history of Homenetmen on your shoulders and you have to pass it on with a modern twist to it. It has tried to educate the youth the richness of the Armenian culture and heritage while preparing them to become outstanding law-abiding citizens in our countries where we live. So, why, how, who, when, where? It's to establish home away from home, and these are the sister organizations on the bottom that you see, to serve the people and the community, to regain national unity and accord, and this is all happened in between 1920s and 1930s, where they started to come up with these organizations, whether it's the Armenian Relief Society Home, whether it's Hamazgain Cultural, whether it's AYF, whether it's ACF, Armenian National Committee. I haven't listed everyone here, but this is how it became in order to regain national unity and accord. And back then was hard. We're just waking up from the genocide. And believe it or not, our first Homenetmen fanfare that we had was in 1928 in New York. Not many of you know that. That was one of the first times. New York, Boston. First time when we were trying to get permission from Lord Baden-Powell as a Homenetmen Scouts. When I had the pleasure of meeting Tigran Khoyan, one of the people who started. Tigran Khoyan, I met him when he was already 93 years old. He told me the story that, Arik, we had to go and get permission from Lord Baden-Powell in London in order to get scouting, because we were the only country with only scouting movement that we did not have a country, but we wanted scouting. Every country has to have a flag. Every country has to have a state in order to have scouting under the international law of scoutism. So they didn't have any uniforms. The only thing was available to them, they went to the morgues. They got this black cloths. They made scouting uniform out of it. They put some patches on it, and they went to England. And if some of you get the chance to go to London, go to Baden-Powell House in Gloucester Street, go inside. The first flag on the right-hand side is the original flag that these people took. The Yeraguin with a Homenetmen on it. That's the first flag. And they brought it, and it's right there. So we were the only country that had scouts without a country. Then later became different chapters and what have you. We had scouting movement in 1928 in France, but that started to dissolve. So that's how, why, how, who, when, and where. That's how we started the Homenetmen, whether in athletes or whether in scouts. So the mission statement for Homenetmen is simple. Homenetmen's mission is to prepare exemplary and law-abiding citizens by providing physical and health education, endowing the mind and soul with the finest spirit of sportsmanship. Finest spirit of sportsmanship. Not strangling each other, and developing an understanding of responsibility and honor as they strive for individual and collective excellence. That's the mission statement. And it's per verbatim translation from Armenian. The goal of Homenetmen is to prepare exemplary Armenians and citizens of physical strength and as well as highest mental and spiritual merits, teaching them to be resilient and brave, because that has come about from the genocide again, to be resilient, to be brave, that's in our genes, it's in our culture, to be patriotic and law-abiding and disciplined. And that all comes from what you and I teach these kids. Fostering in them a sense of duty and awareness of responsibility and honor. Again, this is per verbatim translation. Instilling a spirit of harmony and mutual service and filling their hearts and minds with the noblest spirits of sports. That's our goal. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. That's how it is. Some of you have heard this, some of you might have touched upon it, but this is the core values of Homenetmen. The experience of Homenetmen is something until you have not joined, you won't know. With all its ups and downs, since its establishment in 1918, Homenetmen has played an essential role in helping to shape the character and leadership capabilities of a generation of Armenian youth. And since when you are a Homenetmen, there's a different feeling to it. You can go to any country and find somebody on the street, couple of words exchange. There's a fraternity kind of thing going on. Homenetmen has this magical power of really putting together. That's why we call each other Yekhbayr and Kush. For some of us who came from different countries, at the beginning they used to say Yekhbayr. I thought I'm joining like a Christian sect or something. No, Yekhbayr and Kur, that's what we teach our kids, because they are truly sisters and brothers within the family. That's why we say it. Now, for some of us it might be Khort Teva, but that's what it is. Through its scouting and athletic programs, Homenetmen has preserved the Armenian spirit. The Armenian spirit. We always emphasize on the Armenian spirit. Հայկական մշակույթ, հայկականություն, հայապահպանում. I can use many other more expensive words. But that's what it is. Homenetmen is a bridge to be able to cultivate the Armenian heritage and Armenian spirit. With your tools, it's sports. With some, they're scouts. With some, they're youth. I mean, in 1984, we started the youth committee in Arad chapter. Some of us are here. And from that, many marriages came about. Many marriages within our families. And we brag about it till today because it's a good thing to happen. The Homenetmen experience is one of lasting association. The organization promotes a sense of fraternity, humanitarianism. It's the volunteer understanding. Not everything you can buy, not everything you can pay and get it. The volunteer aspect of it. Some of you are doctors, some of you are lawyers, some of you are professionals in whatever you do. Some of you are business owners, some of you are developers, some of you are in God knows. And I tip my hat to you guys that you donate your time for the betterment of the kids. Not everybody does it. Look at your neighbors. Look at the people that always criticize you. They don't get this. They don't get it. Come, at my age, they still tell me, I can't say no to them. Because I get a more kick out of them than they do. Because somebody did that for me when I was a child, when I was 11 years old, growing up alone in London, England, when there were no Armenians whatsoever. Somebody did that for me. So it's my job to really do it again. For some of you who haven't had the experience, now you're donating because your friend told you so. You're donating your time because you love the game. You're donating your time because truly you get a kick out of it. You do not donate your time because you have nothing else to do. Trust me. You have many things to do. But you choose to sacrifice your personal life, your personal finance, in order to make Homenetmen a better place for generations to come and enjoy it. Camaraderie. Homenetmen's motto is lift yourself and others with you. I learned this from Yekhbayr Arthur. It's not elevate yourself. We're not an elevator. Lift yourself. Barsatsir, barsatsur. Something that came about in 1923. This Slogan. Բարձրացիր, բարձրացուր։ Բարձրացիր ինքդ, մեղոքվել ճկուտը վեսրու, հետդ բարձրացուր։ Մեղոքվել հետդ բեր հասցրու, մինչև թե որ կարող ես։ What a noble idea that our forefathers, people who started Homenetmen, had that vision. Bարձրացիր, բարձրացուր. You should take a note of that. Sometimes when you're playing on the field, you should take a note of what are on the slogans on the banners. They all have meanings, except from designer logo, from Horizon, except from all the ads and hoopla. To understand the truly the Homenetmen mentality is for you to feel it. Feel it. So, I'm going to wrap it up and open up to any questions. I took this directly from Michael Josephson, reminding you that character counts. If you love competition, you never lose. So basically, if you read through, what I have highlighted is athletic competition is not a form of war. The people you compete against are also the people you play with. They are not your enemies. The word competition comes from the Latin root of competere, or whatever it is, how it's pronounced, which means to strive together, not against each other. Be thankful for the quality of competitors who push you to the limit. You'll find sports more healthy and enjoyable when you respect and even like your opponents rather than hate them. Now, there is a paradox to it because people who we compete, first of all, they're human beings. First of all, they're Armenians or non-Armenians, doesn't matter. But if we're competing inter-chapter, we're competing against our sisters and brothers. So, Homenetmen Masis chapter is no different than Homenetmen Los Angeles chapter. Los Angeles chapter was the first chapter that was established in the United States, in West Coast, in 1968. That was the first chapter. And I've seen the first, one of the things that first I came to the United States, I took a taxi from Laguna Beach, and I came all the way to Santa Monica to go see Homenetmen. And today is a bakery, I think. I open the door, I go inside, there are two people playing tavli. Ծուխ, մուխ, սիգար եւ այլն, նես մտամ, ասամ, typical բասկա, հա, բարև ձեզ, լավ եք, մամեն լավա, պապեն լավա, Homenetmen էստեղա, ինչ գուզես, ոչիշ չեմ ուզում, ինչու եկել ես, Homenetmeni, հա, Homenetmenական ես տուն, եգուր յավրամ, եգուր, պամա գխմես, ջալապ գխմես, չէ, չեմ խում, ուր է ծեր թաշտը, ինչ կխոսես գոր թաշտը, որտեղ են սկաուտները հավաքվում, դեղ մը ջանը թունալ պաներ մը կհարցնես, յավ, իմ մտկովս այդ դուրի հետևը, թաշտ կա, ինչ ես ադիգա, թուրը պացամ 3-4 հոգի օթո են սարկում, մեքանիկ, But I had a feeling of, this is home, this is where it is, this is where it happens. And later on, different chapters came about. Homenetmen Los Angeles chapter started giving other people, leadership and everything, and we've survived. We survived. Different chapters came about, and I've had the pleasure and honor of being with most of the chapters, whether it's Masis, whether we started San Diego, when Yechbar Manuel was there years ago, we used to call him Superman. He was there in San Diego, or what have you, or Kur Araxin, Fresno, or Yechbar Robert, whatever, in San Francisco. It was a sense of camaraderie, a sense of belonging to a good gang. And I always teach our scouts, you are a part of a gang. Because that's what they're exposed to, day in, day out. You're a part of a phenomenal good gang that we do good stuff. I do thank you for your time, and just continue what you do because what you do is noble. Thank you so much.